Every now and then, a storage product comes along that makes you rethink what fast and enough space actually mean in 2026. This is an 8TB PCIe Gen4 NVMe SSD, and on paper it pushes up to around 7,000 megabytes per second read speeds and about 6,200 megabytes per second write speeds. And those numbers are already in the territory where most people's systems can't even fully stretch what this drive is capable of. What makes it interesting isn't just the speed though. It's the combination of speed and capacity at this scale. Because 8 terabytes in a single M.2 NVMe drive is not small. That's not a couple of games and some files storage. That's your entire library, your projects, your backups, and still space left over kind of storage. And the Lexar NM790 sits in this space where it's not trying to be flashy or experimental. It's just pushing a very clean idea: high-end Gen 4 performance, massive capacity, and consistency that actually holds up in real workloads. So in day-to-day use, what does that actually feel like? Honestly, it feels like nothing slows down. Your system boots almost instantly. Applications open without hesitation. Large games load fast enough that the wait almost stops feeling like a thing you think about. And when you start moving big files, especially multi-gigabyte video projects, raw footage, or large game installs, the drive keeps its speed without falling apart under pressure. And that's where you start to feel the difference between a good SSD and a high-end one. Because this isn't just about benchmarks. It's about sustained performance when you actually stress the drive. For gamers, this means shorter load screens and a smoother experience when installing or switching between large AAA titles. For creators, it means faster project loading, quicker exports in some workflows, and less time sitting around waiting for media to cache or transfer. That's the real value here: time saved without thinking about it. Now the 8 terabytes capacity changes the entire conversation. You're no longer managing storage constantly. You're not deciding which games to delete before installing a new one. You're not splitting projects across multiple drives just to stay organized. Everything just lives in one place. And that simplicity matters more than people realize, especially if your system is doing more than just casual browsing. There's also PS5 support here, which makes it even more interesting. You can expand your console storage massively while still keeping fast load times and smooth performance. So instead of constantly rotating games in and out, you just install what you want and keep it there. But like every high-performance Gen 4 SSD, there are a few things to keep in mind. Heat is always part of the conversation. When you push sustained workloads, long transfers, heavy gaming sessions, or large file operations, temperatures can rise. So pairing it with a proper heatsink or good motherboard cooling isn't optional if you want consistent peak performance over time. Now the bigger question is simple: who is this actually for? Because for everyday users, this is honestly overkill. If you're just browsing, streaming, doing light productivity, or casual gaming, you will never come close to using what this drive offers. But for power users, creators, and serious gamers, this starts to make a lot more sense. If your system is your workstation, if you're constantly moving large files, if you're editing high-resolution video or working with heavy projects, then storage like this stops being luxury and starts becoming practical. Because what you're really paying for here isn't just speed or capacity. You're paying for flow. No waiting. No managing space every other day. No juggling external drives. Just a system that feels like it keeps up with you instead of slowing you down. And that's the part that doesn't show up in spec sheets. High-end SSDs like this don't really feel exciting in a dramatic way. They feel invisible. Everything just becomes smoother. Less friction. Less waiting. Less interruption. And once you get used to that, it's hard to go back. So is it the fastest SSD on the market in every single scenario? Not necessarily. But as a high-capacity Gen 4 drive that balances performance, stability, and real-world usability, it sits in a very strong position. It's not trying to be extreme for the sake of it. It's just trying to make storage feel effortless at a scale most people didn't have access to not that long ago. And in a way, that's what makes it interesting. Not because it changes everything, but because it quietly makes everything you already do feel faster without you even noticing why.